see if anything comes up for anybody to ask or share. I deliberately, the silence called for this tonight, invited you to be open to the question, who am I? Before hope. There's a very important reason as to why that's there, that inquiry. It's one of variations of the who am I question that I include from time to time, because in this case, hope, there's always talk in the human experience about hope, and hope is a future-based thing. Hopefully it will be like this. It's placing something ahead of you, or hopefully my life will turn out okay, or hopefully things will be okay, or I hope this, or I hope the other. Now, when it comes to self-realization, it's not something that you need to hope for. The reason it's there is an invitation to drop the hope that it would flower in your form one day. And this is very important, because if there's hope there, there's a belief there that it's not already there, that you're not already, your essence is not already this. And so you're putting energy, the energy of belief, into believing that you're not already this essence. So self-realization isn't something for us to hope for, or even aspire to ultimately. And this doesn't mean, by the way, that we don't meditate or inquire, use spiritual inquiry. What it does point you to, invite you to, is to be open to the possibility and indeed truth that that which you are seeking, have been seeking for what may appear to be a long time, is in fact that which you already are. Never has there been a time, never will there be a time, when your essence was not this infinite silence, this infinite awareness. And it doesn't need the energy of hope. It's before hope, beyond the concept of hope, beyond need, before need, beyond belief. So we're not hoping for this, we're opening to realize we are this. Oh my gosh, I, infinite I, am that being, infinite silence, infinite awareness, infinite consciousness. No need for hope. Making sense to everybody. Quite important, that, profoundly important. Because one of the things that you see, and I've heard stories about this from realized beings, from names that you will have heard of, striving hard, putting so much energy into this. And this is not necessarily a bad thing in itself, in having a deep commitment to this calling. But ultimately, it's not going to come about because of effort or hope. It's when one's totally and utterly prepared to accept and embrace that one knows nothing about this. And that all that you've ever believed that you knew about life be totally open to this realization, to let go of anything and everything that you thought that you knew about it, because it's not the human identity that knows or realizes. It's the awareness itself, recognizing itself as that awareness. And so ultimately, all the practices that we undertake, meditation, inquiry, are to bring one to the practiceless place, the effortless space. There's a live stream on my YouTube channel called Effortless Grace. Effortless Grace. And it has that title for a very good reason, because this awareness, this silence, that is ultimately effortless, and you are it. So you'll hear me say, people have heard me say, I've been on the streams events before, that you begin meditation as a practice, but the practice ends. It becomes a realization, and then one realizes that one is the living meditation. So nothing for you to hope for, only to realize. And that's why that word in self, the second word in the term self-realization, is very important. It's a realization. You may have had light bulb moments, aha moments about simpler things, small things in life. Suddenly the light switch goes on. This is the universal scale realization. And it doesn't require hope. So let's go to Ruth Ann.
Yeah, briefly, I just wanted to thank you for not only the question, but the inquiry question, but the explanation. I got two words that came in, and it was undefined and trusting. But I could not understand. I couldn't understand why I got those words. They weren't really making sense. But after you explained things just a few minutes ago, it makes a lot more sense now.
Good. I'm glad that makes sense. It made perfect sense to me there. Was it undefined? And what was the other word? Oh, trusting. Yeah. Yeah, undefined. That's just another, that would be another useful word to point at the awareness, the silence. It's undefined, unbound. It's infinite. Yeah. Everything else, thingness, always has a definition. It has a limitation, whereas this has none.
Right.
And trusting is important. People hear me talking endlessly about trusting, but what is it that we're trusting? Trusting, we basically go on a journey, we experience it as a journey of trust. But what's being trusted in is this essence. this awareness, this silence. And again, people may have heard me say this many times, but it bears much repetition. What is the highest form of trust? And it turns out the highest form of trust is not having to trust at all, because it becomes a knowing. It becomes a realization. So we experience a journey, and then the trust becomes the knowing. Is there anything else for you there, Ruth?
No, that was really good. Thank you.